Clash of Clans Podcast, OG, episode 34. And welcome back to the podcast, everybody.
We got a shirtless Tip Dog 20
Shirtless Tip Dog 20
live for everybody. Shirtless.
For everybody. We might as well just go right in right here, and then I'll just record the intro on the end, huh?
Send donations to Clash of Clans Podcast at gmail.com. Tips.
Can you say OnlyFans?
We take
Tip
large
Dogs,
bills.
He's moving from YouTube to a whole different platform.
No small bills, please. Large bills only.
Live cam feed 24/7.
I may remove more clothing if more bills are donated.
It's a fundraiser for science. The Human Fund.
To support the Clash of Clans podcast.
To support, yeah.
I'm donating my body.
It's the Tipathon.
Just the tip?
24 hours. All tip, all the time.
So if you give a big tip, then you can see just the tip.
Ooh, it's getting hot in here, everybody.
It's getting hot. This is why.
Tip just washed ashore from a long vacation. Well, a short vacation, I bet.
It was a short vacation. It was a fun vacation, though.
Where'd you go? What'd you see? What'd you do?
So it's
or is this like one of those CIA things where you're like,
no,
I can't talk about it. I can't talk about this.
The Tip Dog 20.
Yeah.
No, so my nephew, it's his senior year, and he's a pretty darn good football player. So in past years, their team has been nationally ranked. Like I think last year they were ranked 7th in the nation. And this was one of the nights that lined up to where I could watch him play Friday night, which was last night. And then on Wednesday night, which was 3 nights ago from this recording, we actually got to watch Inter Miami play against Atlanta United. And anybody who follows soccer knows that Inter Miami hired Messi this season, and my son is a massive Messi fan. So we got to I think it's the Mercedes-Benz Arena, walked in, and we told my son we're going to watch a soccer game, but we didn't really say who. And so we walk in, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, this is cool." Like we have a local minor league soccer team, NCFC, that we go watch all the time, right? So he's used to it. He's like, "Oh, this is a big stadium." We sat down, and then these players come out wearing these pink uniforms, and he's like, "Wait," and that's Inter Miami, right? And he's like, "Wait a second." He's like, "Who's playing?" And we're like, "Atlanta United." He's like, "Yeah, but who are they playing against?" And we said Inter Miami. And he was like, Is Messi going to be here tonight? And we were like, "Yes, he is." He's like, "Oh my gosh. So it was great. It was a good moment.
Gosh.
So we got to see Messi play, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
He's definitely a legend. The way that he plays is totally different than anybody that I've ever seen play soccer. Or have you really watched soccer that much?
No. My sports career ended in 2nd grade when, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to tell the story.
Please
I went out for flag football.
Donate extra tips
Maybe I already
for
did.
This story, please.
I might have already told this story at one point. But I went out for flag football, and
they grabbed something besides the flag?
No.
And it caused your voice to go really high?
I couldn't stop making sound effects. I couldn't stop doing the sound effects. And then they're like, "Hey, stop doing the stupid noises? Sound effects." No, like, like that. I couldn't stop doing it because I was so used to playing with my G.I. Joe guys and there was not anything happening. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't sound like it was on TV and stuff. So I'm like that and stuff. And so they kind of said that, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do it if it's not going to sound like that anyways. Well, I mean, I wasn't really that great at it anyways, but so sound effects completely derailed your
sports career,
professional career, except for here I am now on the esports playing field.
That's right. And you a pro? Really. Are you a pro esports gamer yet?
Not yet, but the mission lives on. The quest
deep in our hearts.
deep in
We
our
shall be
hearts.
there.
We shall be
Although,
there.
if we are receiving tips for this pro gaming that we're doing live in the podcast, does that mean now we are a pro tip gamer? Or how would we
S
label that?
Well, I don't know if your Clash of Clans OnlyFans would qualify for us for our gaming. I mean,
I'm a pro Clash of Clans only fanser.
yeah, I mean, but, you know what? That's where I'm kind of a little wondering about the definition overall, I guess.
Yeah,
You
what
know?
qualifies as a pro gamer?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, if you're on the scene, well, yeah, it'll be interesting.
So
Or what would it have been in the past? Who knows?
So we watched Messi play on Wednesday night. Absolutely amazing. Like the way that he plays was just totally different than everybody else on the field. So it was amazing to watch. And then Thursday we spent the day at the aquarium in Atlanta and walked around Atlanta, did a few other things, went to some really cool spots. And then Friday, one of my nephews plays hockey, and so we left at like 11 a.m. to go watch him play in this hockey tournament, and then we drove back, and then we left again at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock to watch my other nephew play one of his last home games of football. And then this morning we woke up, walked the dogs, and then hopped in the car and ran home and got home about 30 to 45 minutes ago. And now we're sitting here doing a podcast.
Well, there you go. And I
Mm.
suppose while you were doing that, you were able to log in and collect your loot. Are you seeing something new?
So I was all excited about all of these nerfs and buffs and all of that, right? And I am super excited about the treasure hunt because it is very cool. But as I open up my battle log today,
Uh-oh.
I am only at 5,691 trophies. So mind you, that is not exactly super high, right? So if I look at the rankings, currently I am ranked 60,317th in the world, right? 60,000th. And I got 320 today in my battle log. So I
What
had
does that mean?
eight 3 stars against me. When yesterday and the day before, I was super excited because I had like 3 3 stars against me and like 4 3 stars against me. And I've noticed definitely like it's getting harder to 3 star a little bit, especially with these supercharged defenses that I'm starting to see. And I thought, oh, well, maybe, we're seeing some balance. And then today I log in and everybody is using this Druid 3 Super Witch Warden Fireball attack. Everybody. And I got 3 starred 8 times. Like it's just,
Well,
it's the new spam.
I do have one question about that.
Yeah.
Um, is it possible though, like the days that you were getting the the defenses, you were logging in more and then able to like clear your skeletons and stuff so that they can't see where maybe some traps and things were?
So I'm in Legend League, so I don't have to do that. Like it
Oh,
automatic
I didn't know that.
resets for me in Legend League. Like I would have to do that if I wasn't in Legend League, if I was in Titans,
That is a part of a world I have yet to explore.
which you should. Like, are you thinking about doing it soon?
Not until like
LL
I'm done
16,
farming. Yeah, like where it's like it's more about the attacks and
right?
but some days I like to just go a bunch and try bases and practice, if I see something in war and then I'm like, well, I want to find a few of those bases in the wild.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I feel like if I'm a little more in end game ish, maybe.
Well, so this is honestly, I'm almost to the point. So we've had this discussion on whether Tip Dog 20 is a good player or whether he's just an average player or a casual player. Like whether or not Scotty 827 thinks that Tip Dog 20 is a good player or not. The reality is I'm 60,000th in the world right now. Like that's not exactly impressive stats. I'm doing okay in Legends. Like my hit rate is probably 60% right now. I normally get 5-ish 3 stars per day out of 8, which is decent. And then typically my last 3 are, high 90%. So I'm doing okay. But again, if I'm going to be getting hit 8 times a day for 3 stars,
Yeah.
It's not fun. Like
But
I don't see the point. And honestly, I might just drop out of Legends and be like, screw it. Like, forget it. I don't even want to participate. If I feel like I'm spinning my wheels constantly, and if the attacks that people are using, and it's a different attack. So let's be clear. Like before, it was root riders and different forms of root riders. Now it's just like literally every single attack has between 8 to 10 druids, and they're using some form of super witches, or I'll still see root riders on a few of the attacks, and these druids are just mass healing, all of these troops, and they're not even using strategy really anymore. And so I'm disappointed that the meta changed so quickly to something
well,
that was a little more spammy.
but hold on a second though,
Yeah.
because here's as you're saying this, right, and where you're at, like, it is not necessarily all about it is all about skill, but is
Right.
the other factors are longevity and perseverance and time, because you can't just get perfect stars all the time and then expect to be at number 1, because it is also like how long you're right? I mean, it
Well,
takes time to
yes,
get the stars up to that level.
yes and no. So you'll see people who don't start Legends for weeks. So the Legend season, I was 30 to 40, it's 30 or 45 days. I can't remember how long it is, somewhere between there, right? And you will see like top guys who don't start their Legends climb until day 15, for example. Like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks will pass, and they start their Legend League climb and they still finish top 100, because at the lower levels, typically there are lots of missed attacks. It's easier to 3-star. So they're getting 320 after 320 after 320 after 320 day. And so within 4 or 5 days, they're already at the top. So
So,
it for somebody like me, sure, there's a little bit of a climb. For somebody who's really good and can get 320 days back to back to back, for them, it's not. You know what I
well,
mean?
yeah, okay, that's good to know, because I was thinking maybe it's like a longer thing. But also, and I'm thinking of, Nico's interview.
Hmm.
Uh, are you playing the defensive side, like, it to that point that of what they're playing?
Well, so that is interesting because the day after the nerf, I mean, maybe it wasn't the day after. It might have been 2 days after the nerf. I got hit massively by air. So almost all of the attacks were dragons, like literally almost every single attack. And my base was set up to defend against root riders, and so like all my bows were on ground. My black mines were a little closer to the outside in order to try to kill um healers if the player brought healers. So I switched it up. I moved my tornado trap and put it in the spot that the majority of people were sending their blimp into. I moved my black mines in a little bit deeper in some places, moved them out in other places. So that way, if they hit the tome ability, my black mine wouldn't be wasted on dragons. And most of them were entering from the same spot. So I adjusted everything, and then the next day it was about half dragons, half of this druid spam. And then more recently, literally, it's just been druid spam, like literally 10 druids, and every single attack is that. So
So,
it's changing up. So it could be the base, but then I'm
then
gonna have to move it back to ground again, I guess. So I
and
don't
that's
know.
kinda where I'm wondering, right? Like, kinda thinking about as I look at the game, as we talk about these things, kind of what it takes to be, in the different levels, right? So, like, we kinda talked about this before, and Nico talking about that, gave me a lot to think about. So I think about, like, what is it that the top players are doing? Because it's not just winning, right? It is probably being engaged in, like, what's coming out, like, being in, right on top of it.
Hmm.
Here's what I'm seeing today. Like, because you would hate it if you were just like sitting here and then said, well, I don't even have to really pay attention. All I got to do is come in and do 8 attacks a day with my really good strategy, and I'm number 1 on the leaderboard. I don't have to, like, react to, like, trends and, like, kinda be you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
it so that's another way I'm just wondering if if those players, like these hardcore, um, like I don't think your uh, ability is in a different class. You know what I'm saying? So is there something else that's affecting it? I guess is what I mean.
What do you mean by what do you mean by that?
Well, I think you're just as capable of, and you're probably at the same level of 3 starring. You have a particular style, they have different
Mhm.
styles. And so to me, it like I look at the people in Legends and I look at like different really good attackers. Um, and I think, well, why not? If you can 3-star every base, then why isn't everybody at number one? Right? Like undefeated. So what are the people that are just separate? And it's more of a question, not necessarily like about you, like, but if you're gonna push to legends, then what is it gonna like to the top of legends, how do you start to differentiate yourself? Are they just reacting to meta, like hypersensitive to like what meta is going out there? Are they just hypersensitive to like, oh, my base got hit to this? Boom, boom. And they're under like different scrutiny, probably because they've got YouTubers, right, sharing replays. So maybe they just have to be like more boots on the ground of like constantly switching something up.
Could, I just think that my major complaint is that I don't like this. I don't like any spam meta. Like, sure, it's fun for a little while, and root riders would be great if they weren't so spammy. But it's the same thing that we've talked about. Like, I don't like seeing when a player basically gets all their troops out on the board in the first 10 seconds and then throws down a few spells and they 3-star my base. Like, to me, that doesn't feel good, and that's essentially what's happening again. And so for me, it's very disheartening to watch the replays and to not see skill in the 3 stars. Now, granted, the players who may be attacking me could be very skilled. Like, they could be extremely skilled. But again, we go back to the root rider argument. If spam is working, why do a harder attack? I hate it that it seems like these easy, just throw all your troops down on the map and it pretty much automatically 3 stars. And granted, not every single time it's going to do that. But what I'm seeing on my base in low to mid legends, 5,600 cups, like that's what I'm seeing. So it's
And
just frustrating to see that.
and what I'm and kind of what I'm like, I guess putting out there, wondering is, are those people looking at your base coming in going, wow, he hasn't changed it up since this happened, or I can't believe he's not setting his base to defend against this.
No, I don't think so. Because I've moved a lot of stuff around. I've switched up bases. I was using one base. I switched to another base that was much more high damage in order to take advantage of the fact that we have supercharged defenses now. So it's not necessarily the defense. Like it, if so, I don't know. I mean, could it partly be the defense? Maybe, but not like eight
Well,
three
are the
stars in a row at 5,600 cups.
are
You
the
know.
why aren't the top players getting um 8 3 stars in a row?
Oh, they are.
And so
But
how are they up there versus, are they just, how is
so
number 1 and number 50 different?
so there's not much difference, to be honest with you. So typically at those really really high levels where you're in top 1,000, you're making, you know you may get 320s on your attacks, and then you may have one player who attacks you who messes up just a little bit and gets 32 trophies instead of 40 trophies for their attack. And so you go up by 8 trophies that day.
Mhm.
Like that's literally how they're just eking their way up by a few trophies here and there at the top levels.
And that's kinda what I'm kinda getting at, is like, you are not you're like, difference between 1,000 and 100 is probably not very much different either. And so the thing that they're doing is they're defending, uh, and getting those little mistakes. They're looking at the meta and maybe, like, switching it up and being probably pretty engaged in the defensive side a little bit, right? Like, to
I
get
don't,
to
I don't think so. No, I don't think most players are like on top of their defensive base nonstop, especially not at rank 60,000. I
well,
mean,
if you got to number 1 and you were gonna stay number 1, what would you have to
oh,
do?
yeah, I would have to switch up my base if I'm going to be up that high,
Well,
but
wouldn't
it,
you have to do that at the beginning if you wanna
I,
get that high?
I could. Would a new base perform better? Possibly, like likely. But again, my complaint is more that it's in my opinion reverting back to a spam meta versus a little more skill based meta. And a spam based meta it really doesn't matter what your base is, whether you have a quote unquote meta base from world base building or whether you're moving around the traps from a base that you found on the internet. Like if it's spam meta, you can puke your troops out and then they can just kind of go and they 3-star the base. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really
Kind
matter
of,
what the defense is.
but then why is some people are probably defending against or catching those things a little bit better, right, than other people.
Maybe at some levels, but at the top levels, they're getting 3-starred 8 times a day as well,
Then how are they gaining?
because they may have one person that messes up every other day.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So how would they even climb? They just would have to be
They
perfect.
Yeah, they just have to go perfect every single day and hope that somebody messes up at those high levels, essentially.
Well, and that's the thing. Maybe, Legend League is not necessarily like the measure of skill either, totally. Right? Like there's different contexts of everything, like
Yeah, I mean,
war and stuff like that.
which is why I think there are a lot of players who are just like, "I don't wanna mess with Legend League." Like, it's frustrating, I have to get 8 attacks in a day. When you're dealing with getting hit so many times for 3 stars and you watch the replays and you're like, well, that was a crap attack. It's not a pleasant experience. And so they instead focus their time on war, CWL, and esports, like ESL gaming. Like that's what they spend their time
Yeah.
doing because at least with ESL, it's not gonna be Legend League 8 attacks a day. You know, you can have a different experience with the game, but they've just pretty much completely given up on Legend League in that instance.
Well,
I'm thinking about doing the same, but
it's a lot like it's cross country or track. Like you don't
mhm.
have to do both.
Yeah,
Cross just because you're an amazing cross country runner doesn't mean you're going to be an amazing
yeah,
sprinter either.
that's true, and it
Actually,
does
I
take
don't
a
know if that's true. I just
no,
am
no, you're
saying it,
right,
but
because
like,
it does take a different level of skill to do Legend League attacks because you only have 30 seconds to look at the base, and you have to take the army that you've trained up. Like, you can't switch up your troops. When with, like, a war attack, you can look at the base for as long as you want. You can look at it for up to 24 hours, and then you can change out your troops, bring the type of troops that you want, all of that.
see,
So it is a little bit different.
I plan to do Legends when I have nothing else to do. That's
Mm,
how I kind of like it's a how I look at it. Like, that'll be something to push for, like sometimes see how far I can get against other people, and whatnot. But I mean, at one point, it's going to come down to like, oh, my base is just not holding up.
right.
I gotta do something to get that little thing. And maybe it's just one every 2 or 3 days, but you know what I mean? Like there's gotta be something that pulls people at certain levels that
Could, and I could switch my base up every single day. Like I could buy 30 bases from World Base Building, switch up my Legend League base every single day. And I think my point is it doesn't really matter what the base is. Like it's being hit with spam, and spam is ruling Legend League at this point. I mean, hence me being ranked 60,000. Like there at that level, I shouldn't, in my opinion, I shouldn't be seeing 8 3-stars in my battle log. I should see maybe 4. For a 50% hit rate. That's pretty darn good for an average player, and that's where I think it should be rather than 8 up and down the board. But
yeah.
who am I? I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating on my part. Um, for a lot of different reasons. It had changed, and I was watching my defensive log. I was feeling good about it, and then today I log in, and I'm just like the total army changed. Like again, it went from dragons and a few root rider armies, and maybe 4 3 stars to it went to different armies. Like I was seeing hybrid, I was seeing dragons, I was seeing root riders, I was seeing super witches. Like I saw a mismatch of troops. And then today I log in and it's literally all druids, like 10 druids in an army with either root riders or super witches. All of the attacks are that. And all of the attacks are smashing like 3 star and
And
all of them. It's what
now you got to
GCBC
pivot.
said. Well, yeah, it's what GCBC, like he posted the video and he's like, yeah, I haven't failed since I changed this army. So
Right.
yeah, it's not all
So then,
defensive.
and he's probably, yeah, right. I get what you're saying. There's just got to be something there that what I'm trying to say is I don't think GCBC's skill is that much different from the top player in the world. And so what are just the tiny things that they're doing?
I mean, I
That's a
guess I'm gonna
different
have
part of the
to.
game that like have to
Yeah,
kind of explore. Maybe we can,
I'm gonna
um,
have to look at getting a base maybe that could defend against 10 druids. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. And they're entering for these attacks. They're entering from all different corners. Like they're not even entering
ooh,
from one single corner. Like they're coming from all different sides. Some go after the town hall first. Some come opposite the town hall first to go after the eagle. Some are going after the corners at 12 and 6 o'clock and taking those down first. Like it's random all over the
you're
place. And
being
all of them
invaded.
are 3 starred.
What are you gonna do about it? You're being invaded. Well, and like Nico was saying, like, okay, now you see where they're coming in. They're coming in from four corners. What are you like?
Well, I can't defend against all 4 corners. Like
Well, you could put giant bombs in the all four corners if you're getting
mm,
consistently. You know what I mean? Just to change up the game, like to change what they're expecting. And that's what he was saying is like, well, if you're getting hit from one side consistently over and over, try to retrap it over there.
but I'm
Because then
not.
you
Like I'm not getting hit from the same side over and over again. I'm getting hit from 4 different sides.
then what can you do in that circumstance?
I don't
Do you,
know. Like I don't see other than changing up my entire base. But again, this comes back to if this is a spam meta, it was like it was with root riders, where literally you could put your root riders down anywhere on the base and they would still 3 star. Well, if druids are now helping players essentially do the same thing, with very little funneling, I don't know that there's a big way that we can defend against it. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what develops.
well, and that's the thing. It's an again thing, right? I think it's
Mhm.
been that way. It will always be that way, probably. Like for the, I mean, I can't see how because every time we get an update, there's something new and like kind of a way to crack it, and then the adjustment period, and then the overkill period where it kind of becomes really popular and then more of a fix, a little bit more of a fix, and then an update.
Yeah.
And so how and that's kind of like if the game overall is overall over than just legends, how do you play that? Is it just like, oh, you woke up, you saw that meta, okay, quick, switch it, midway through the day before um something changes. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like
Y-
they've got to
Yeah.
be doing something.
Well, I mean,
But
it's to the point now to where like I'm going to go back to the drawing board on my attacks, and I've been using super witches, but I've been using healers instead of druids, and I'm just going to have to pack my armies with like 10 druids and then kind of go from there and see how this works. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll
I
probably
guess
finish
the
up this season at least.
I guess the worst, it could be static, and then that would be probably worst case scenario, where nothing ever changed.
Well, so there were several days there where I think players were kind of searching the meta where it felt good. Like you would log in and you would see, like I said, Queen Charge Hybrid for one attack. you would see Blizzard Lalo for another attack. You'd see dragons for another attack. You'd see root riders for another attack. You see super witches for another attack. Like when you see a variety in the meta, to me, like that's a very healthy meta because then different attack styles work better with different players. It's not just about spamming these troops in, and that works for a majority of players. Like it's good. For example, I've played with players who are really good at Queen Charge Hybrid, and even they switched to the Root Rider meta whenever Root Riders were spam, even though they were insanely good with Queen Charge Hybrid, just because Root Riders just worked too good. And so this is the first day that I've just seen mass
Hmm.
druids essentially used. So well, I guess we'll see if it continues or not, but
I haven't.
it's just
I've been
frustrating to see
hearing
the same attack.
a lot about the super witches, and it's something that I really kind of be interested to try out. Sorry,
Yeah.
picking up little Clarky.
No,
Ooch.
you're good. I
Um,
just it's just frustrating to look in and see the exact same attack 8 times. Because to me, that's not a sign of a healthy meta. You know, a sign of a
no,
healthy meta is
or
different
a
types of
defensive
attacks.
system either. Like there, there's got to be something that I mean, maybe there's a defense coming up that is just better at defending against spam overall. You
Could.
know, but
We'll have to see.
well, kind of speaking of legends, I guess, like another thing that we didn't really talk about. Well, I guess we kind of got into over the last couple episodes. I want to talk about CWL, but maybe we should talk about the chests, the equipment. I just got a few snacks,
Mhm.
which are kind of cool, I think.
Mhm.
And I was saying right before the podcast that I had just put up for the episode last week. I was trying to name it, and it was "Let the Treasure Hunt Begin." ... And then there it is. And I honestly could not help but think all week that with the treasure hunt event starting in that mini spotlight, that they were really meant to overlap. And that
Right.
because they didn't overlap, like honestly, I didn't barely attack all day or all week. Like I was doing the shorter upgrades, yes. And I was attacking, yes. But for the amount I was putting builders down, I was not struggling at all to farm. And so, I mean, I was having to use up ruins.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I kind of think it was really meant, I think it would have been a much better event if they were overlapping because then I would have got a book of everything and had 16 hours to use it. But in the mini spotlight event, I'd have got a rune or 50K gold or whatever it was.
So I'm Debbie Downer today. I feel bad. I'm normally not Debbie Downer. I hate this. I'm sorry. I
Di-
apologize, Scotty. I don't mean to be
Didn't
Debbie.
you start off as an OnlyFans model and
I
then
so
bow,
Michael,
bow.
I like the treasure hunt. I love the chess idea, but my problem has been like so. I have 4 accounts that I play, you know, decently regularly. I've attacked, you know, pretty regularly over the past few days. My thing is that the rewards don't mean anything to me. I have yet to get an epic chest. I've yet to get a legendary chest. Oh no, I take that back. I did get one epic chest, but it was a house piece for the clan capital. I was
Well,
like,
but nobody
wow,
else
this is
has that.
great. But
Yeah.
still, I was like, and then I have gotten a few rares, but they've been like 800,000 elixir versus 200,000 elixir if it was a, you know, regular common. So
Yeah.
I
Mine haven't
already
been
have
great.
my farming planned out, so I don't need the resources, and then oftentimes they'll give me rewards of stuff that I already have or that I'm already full on. So, like, they may give me resource potions, but I already have 5 resource potions, and I wasn't planning on using any yet, so I gotta use it,
You can
so it's
save
not
them for
having the
your
impact on
it's
me.
you can save them for your builder apprentice. Change them into gems.
Oh, right, yeah, I
Right.
could
So
sell it, you know, but then again, you can't sell. or can you? Like, if it's a
Well, I
resource
think
potion,
you could sell one that's in your town, like,
right,
in your items or whatever, and then
right, in my magic
activate
items
it.
list,
Yeah, because
but I
I
would
think
still have
so.
to use it because don't you have to use? No, you don't have to use it if you win it from a chest. Like, it can just
Yeah.
sit there.
So
Uh,
some of them, yeah, like, I got one that I'm like it was an instant one for, like,
mhm,
10 armies and, like, 20, and I'm thinking to myself, "I can't really use this to the full potential," but had it been a war day, that would've been awesome. Same
right,
with another one that I got. I did get that Book of Everything and that voucher thing, and other than that, but I've seen a lot of people get great stuff.
right. Yeah, and I
Like,
noticed that somebody got, like, a queen skin, somebody
oh,
else got a
somebody got a skin?
hammer, somebody got a skin, somebody got a hammer.
Maximus got a hammer.
Which I mean that's super cool, but for me, like I've opened, I don't know, maybe 15 chests so far, and I just haven't got anything really cool. Or it
Maybe
it
they're saving the
hasn't
best for last,
maybe 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 they're
right?
waiting to see what my OnlyFans bring
Maybe
in
that
so
might be
I
the
can
only thing they get for the next tench. They're saving this maybe they'd be cool. Like, I had no idea they gave out skins in those things. It'd be cool if they gave out, uh oh, what was I just thinking of? Uh,
hammers
Hammers, like a yeah, like any I guess maybe I was just thinking of like a hammer. Uh,
or scenery would be cool if
yeah,
they
like a
I haven't heard of
scenery.
anybody getting into scenery, but
I thought it
maybe
was all just like the regular magic items, and then the equipment was something else too.
right. And that is something that's super cool is they have I forget which one it is, but where it makes your heroes, pets, and equipment max for the next 3 battles.
Yeah, that was
Like
the one that I got.
that is cool, very cool, but I wish that you could make your hero equipment max with the hero potion or if we had a way to
Doesn't it?
practice with max equipment. No, the hero potion doesn't affect hero equipment. It only affects heroes and pets.
Oh,
So,
wow. I'm
or
doing
maybe
great with
make
level 1. No, I'm just kidding. I think
maybe
yeah,
that
you're right. I don't
this
think it counted on that in the past. I was just thinking of, but I guess I just hadn't really thought about it.
well, maybe this is a sign that they're gonna come out with a hero equipment potion
That's
that
gotta be something,
I mean, if they're willing to make hero equipment max with this
or a
little
hero equipment
snack,
level. That'd be awesome. Your choice.
right? Uh, then they should be like they're willing to make it max at least. They're willing to do something with it. So maybe this is a sign that we have a hero equipment potion that's coming soon, you know?
I'd love a book of pets. PS. I don't know if you've noticed this, but it seems like there's not very much uh pet juice in the game. Pet potions.
Oh, right. Yeah. There aren't that many. That is true.
It has been a desert of pet potions. I was making great headway. My Phoenix is now going to level 10,
Hmm.
and I'd like to go back and finish Diggy, but once you put them on, you can't go back.
Right. Well, you can use books of heroes on them at the higher levels.
Right, but just imagine like getting a book of pets, because feel like I have to do it on my heroes, but I'd like it if I just was forced.
So you mean splitting it out to where a book of heroes only apply to heroes and books of pets only apply to
Yeah,
pets? That would
yeah,
be cool.
I'd
That's a
like
cool
that
idea
because then
and a way
I
to
would,
split it out.
and it would be maybe a way to force, not force people, but encourage people to level up different pets, or
Mhm.
things that they to kind of accelerate. It made me wonder because I haven't seen pet potions in the shop very much, and I'm always on that stuff. I haven't really seen it in the deals, and to me, that would say they want to slow down pet research, as in maybe there's not something coming on that front that they thought, or something with timing. Um,
Interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that.
it's what I see in the shadows
Yeah,
from the
that is
perch.
interesting.
Um, yeah, the chess. Moonface said this in the chat today. I like this idea. When we first started out, I remember going out searching. I got that screen and I was looking through bases, not stopping, stopping. I would like it if it wasn't so up in front. I guess you have to do that if you're Legends League attacker. Um, but like they were just really easy to get. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like in the
chests were?
yeah, like if you had to go out searching and I would have to like I mean I nexted once or twice and there's a chest. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, so it is random. So they will have like 4 of those little question mark boxes over, I think it's 4, maybe it's 5 buildings on the map, and you have to
Yeah.
attack to see which of the 5 it is. It's only one of the 5. It's
Right.
not like you can't, because I've attacked before, and I actually had to change up my army because I was using all sneaky goblins, and I was not
Oh,
able to get
maybe
any
I was
chests. And so like I had to switch over, I just switched over to dragons and I'm just hitting with mass dragons randomly. But like I would hit one building and then X would appear like "Dunner," because that's not the building that
oh,
held the chest. And then I'd have to try to get my dragons to another building that was on the map that had the little question mark above it and try, is that one it? That was not it. And then, maybe the third building that I tried out of the 4 or the 5, that was the chest building.
yeah.
Um,
And I guess maybe mine and that would it would have to make sense, especially in Legends League. I was kinda thinking it would be more of a hunt and look for a base that has a treasure chest on it,
Oh, right.
and
That's
then,
that's
like,
true.
"Oh,
It
there it
wasn't on every
is,"
base.
but it doesn't this one has yeah, right, like, it's not on every base, and then like, "Oh, this one only has the resources that's 200,000. Are you gonna risk it to hit this base to get that
Right.
treasure?"
Yeah.
That's
That
kinda
is a
what
cool
that's
idea.
what I
I
was
like that.
expecting,
I like
like,
that a lot.
um I thought that'd be kind of Moon was saying that, and I think that's what he was, meaning too. Uh, you did the video on the snacks. Is
Mhm.
there any that stand out to you or is, like, just
So the
amazing?
one the one that made Hero Equipment Max, I haven't, like, I can't remember which one that is off the top of my head, but there was one of them that made Hero Equipment Max that I was like, "Oh, like, this is huge." Because if I can have max equipment and maybe, so for example, on Tal Shiar, my Strategic Rush Town Hall 16, my Fireball, I think, is at level 5.
Ooh,
So if I could get that specific snack, whichever one it is, I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head, and
yeah, I'm
then
trying to
use it
think
during
now.
CWL, well, then I can have a max fireball for that specific attack in CWL, even though my fireball is only level 5. And to me, like that's massive to
Yeah.
have that opportunity. I
Well
also really like the immediate training. So something I did a video a long time ago about different options that we could put in the Gold Pass, and one of them would be for Gold Pass subscribers to have access to immediate training. So rather than having to train your troops, you just put what very similar to like a friendly challenge or a
yeah,
friendly war.
just
Just
a
put the
ready
troops in you need, and then boom, hit attack, and you can go out attack using those troops. Um, and I had a lot of players that said, "Well, no, that would mess up the economy because then troops would be able to just loot and loot and loot and loot and raid and raid and raid and raid over and over again." And I was like, I don't know, like I can almost do that now with like a training potion. Like I can pretty much just loot, 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 loot for an hour with a training potion, and we can do that now. So why wouldn't that be an option? And
there's
then we receive this option where you can immediately have, it's essentially what I presented in the Gold Pass idea. You can immediately have your troops to go out farming or to go out attacking for 10 straight attacks, up to 20 minutes, 20 minutes or
uh,
10 straight attacks. So that one's pretty cool as well.
it's kinda like the builder base in a sense where you can
Right.
just keep hitting. You can only
Yeah.
get so much loot per day. So it's I guess I kinda when I like keeping that trade-off. If it means you can play more with, like, the armies and then I like the idea that it costs you to do something. I like it
Right.
that you
Yeah.
can lose when that it's a cost to losing a battle or, not being engaged playing. So,
Right. That was
um,
the Mighty Morsel. The Mighty Morsel
Mighty Morsel.
makes heroes, pets, and hero equipment max for the next 3 battles. That one to me is just really powerful, and it's almost gonna be frustrating when some players get it and some players don't because it's almost a competitive advantage. Like, if you're a player who gets that and then you go into war and you use the mighty morsel, like, you're gonna have a significant advantage having max hero equipment versus the player who doesn't. But
Well,
it's balancing, you know, I don't think that it's a bad idea to put it in there. It just will suck not to have
but
it,
that's
you
just
know?
like a hero potion.
Yeah, exactly. It sucks when you don't have hero potions too, but also we can buy hero potions with raid medals from the raid medal shop, and then we can also buy raid potions in the cash shop if we want. Like, if it's that important to us, we can pay
Yeah,
money or we can pay raid medals to get it. Mighty morsels is the only thing that maxes out hero equipment, and we will randomly get them, and then when we randomly get them, which we can't purchase,
yet.
you have to use it within 24 hours.
Yeah. Huh. Well, there's always a piece of chance
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
involved in.
I
Excuse me.
like it. I like it. Like, it's a great idea. It's just gonna it's gonna be awesome for players who get it whenever they have an important CWL attack to do, and it's gonna suck for players who don't get it when they have an important CWL attack to do, you know?
Well, or they just use their regular equipment.
Right? They use their hero potion and they go in with their regular equipment. I mean, the hero
Yeah.
equipment is pretty powerful, so
I mean,
what
because it would most of the time seem to just benefit the pl you're also like, well, if you got it and your equipment's maxed, and you're not using the other ones, then it's like, well, it's kinda garbage anyways.
right, which
So,
that applies to my main. Like, pretty much, I only have a few non-max pieces. So it's kinda like, "Oh, yeah, I got a mighty morsel. Everything's max anyway."
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always, I guess, good in one context.
I like how they're interacting with the game. Like, Supercell has done a great job of trying to improve the player experience. I think Mighty Morsels does this. I think chess do this. While at the same time, chess could bring them in, a dependable source of revenue down the road, possibly. But the player experience is what they're striving for, and I think they're doing a good job at that, trying to introduce new things. I mean, like you said before, like, we have new stuff to talk about on the podcast every single week. When
Yeah.
before it was like, yay, I upgraded my gold mine from level 5 to level 6, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
That is fun.
and I mean, at least, yeah, something, back in the old days when I stepped into that time machine practically, uh, there was none of this, nothing. It was, really, you farmed it up or you bought your way there. There was no,
Gems,
hey,
yep,
here's this. And even like the hero potions, and those things, I've really been just able to afford them out of the CWL medals. Or not
right?
CWL medals, but like
Your raid medals,
raid medals from
right?
Clan
Clan
Capital.
Capital, mhm.
And so I don't know, I think there's like great opportunity for like no matter where you're at, how you want to play it. A lot of times I have to make choices. Uh because I really try not to spend too much on the game. Like I'm really just more about getting a book of heroes is when I have stuff if I can, if it's like 2.99 or I did buy that
Yeah,
4.99 deal. Um but I think if you don't have you can use those other things and I can keep myself in hero books or in not hero books, hero potions really throughout the month. I guess I trade off research time, from the research potions, but even then, without those pet potions coming in, I I've been having a surplus of raid medals.
mm.
So it'd be cool, like maybe to see some of that enter the raid medal store, like a morsel, like
Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Or yeah, the raid medals shop,
yeah, like a snack in the raid medal shop. Um,
that would be, I bet they thought about that. Like, I
It's so well thought out, like, well
right,
designed,
right.
a piece that's it looks like it's part of the game already, so I can't imagine them scrapping this aspect of it, you know what I mean? That has, like,
Right.
the extra storage. Because I don't know, have they had that before?
For
Like, like, the extra storage space where you get it and, um, I guess when I wasn't playing, was there any time maybe that they added that temporary storage?
Are you talking about having up to 5 magic items?
No, that little storage thing you get next to the when you get, like, a snack, it goes into that extra storage.
Oh, no, no, that's brand new. The little
Yeah.
button at the bottom?
Yeah.
That's yeah, I mean, that's brand new with this. Like, that just shows the magic items that you have and that you can use within the next 24 hours if you want. Is that what
Right.
you mean?
Yeah, so I guess I was wondering is, like, if it because I wasn't here the whole time, right?
Yeah,
Is that something brand new?
I
And
think
if that's
so, yeah.
brand new, that is a huge update, huge
Right,
piece that,
right.
like, is gonna probably be with us, you know? Right? This Are snacks here to stay? I guess that's the other question.
I don't see why not. I mean, it's a very positive addition to the game, so I can't see why they would remove something. So, okay, so what I think is going to happen is chests are going to become a regular part of the game, and you're going to be able to buy chests. So you can buy,
Yeah.
or maybe they call them hammers to smash the chest with. So you can buy 10 chests for 4.99 or something like that. And people are going to buy, and this is one reason why I don't think, for example, the Mighty Morsel will be available in the Raid Metal shop because it has an ability that only the Mighty Morsel can do, that the Hero Potion can't do. And so I think you'll have players who are going for the Mighty Morsel who will buy 10 chests and smash them all open with hopes that they're going to get a Mighty Morsel for their attack. And I think that's
Mm,
kind of what Supercell's looking at players doing as well. And then hopefully that source of revenue, which again is more based on the fun and the gambling, like maybe I can get it, maybe I can't, but I still get cool prizes, even though I didn't get exactly what I wanted. Like if they can replace the revenue stream with that versus, having to buy ore for my hero equipment, then the it's more focused on the fun side and the cosmetic side of the game versus actual gameplay, which is more of the pay to win model, or right, pay to win model.
I did see that this week that there's been a couple skins. Um, well, the I can't remember what the is
They
it
did the
Zephyr?
champion skins in the mini event,
There's that,
and they
and
just appeared. Like they
and
weren't there on the first day.
oh,
And
and the
then
mini
all the
ones?
yeah, they weren't there at the first day in the mini event, and then I logged in like the second or third day and they're there. I already have
Oh,
all the champion skins on my main, and they're awesome. Like, let's be clear, the champion skins are probably my favorite skins that they've done. Like the king has the flaming sword, like it's amazing, but they weren't there initially, and then they just appeared in the mini event shop later on. It was a surprise to me, I guess.
yeah, I guess I missed that. I never saw that they were missing, but I did see there was a offer for, like, a was it Zephyr? Archer Satyr.
Archer Satyr, is that a skin?
Yeah, it's a skin. I think it's for the queen. I
Let me
think.
see.
Um,
Oh, yeah, 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 I see. Oh, so that's the monthly skin. So you know how we had the Orc King? And if you look at the
oh,
loading screen, you can see the
yeah.
4 heroes with their skins. This is the skin that's on the
Oh.
queen in the loading screen. So this is one
Oh,
of the
okay.
4 that they typically bring out, which I
Oh,
mean, it's
okay.
cool,
Yeah, because
but
I was thinking, "Oh," you were talking about that last week where it was like, "Hey, if they switch the economy over to more, skin-based, cosmetic-based," and then I saw that, and then I was looking at the Paladin champion, uh, which is
you
really
know
cool.
you know what I just realized?
What?
I just logged into my TipDog20 account and I don't see the champion skins there. Like they're not available. And I think, well, they're not available because I already have them. So I think when I said they weren't there in the beginning, it's probably because I didn't see them on my TipDog20 account. And then maybe a day later or so, I looked at the mini spotlight event on my, strategic rushed account and they were there, and so that's me thinking, oh, they added them when in reality, they probably were there the whole time. They're because I just logged into my TipDog20 account and the champion
Oh,
skins are not available to purchase. I'm like, why are they not there? They took them
did
out. I'm like, oh,
oh,
wait,
you
because I
had them
already
before?
have them anyway. I got them years ago.
They weren't new.
No, huh? The champion skins were not.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
That's so they probably were. You're probably right. They probably were available the whole time. I just didn't notice them until later because they aren't available on my Tip Dog 20 account since I already have
Oh,
all of the champion skins.
I think we were just talking about two. I was thinking the wrong thing. I was thinking the skins
The
in the
satire skin in
in
the cash shop.
well, I thought you were talking about the mini event skins.
Right. Uh,
And when you were saying the champion skins, I was thinking mini event skins.
right, those skins. So if I log into my Tal Shiar account, if you go into the mini event or mini spotlight and then look at the event deals under mini spotlight, you can see champion king,
Oh, okay.
champion queen, champion warden, and those are available to purchase with the medals, the event medals.
Yeah. Yep, okay.
So those are there, but they're not there on Tip Dog 20. And so I was thinking, oh, they added them later.
Oh,
In reality, they were probably there
I
the whole
didn't realize
time,
that they were the old ones or that
but
I thought they were brand new.
they're
So,
cool. Like
yeah,
you
they
can
were
see the king has the flaming sword, the queen has the flaming arrow, like
and I got the queen, but
mhm.
I was thinking, like, with the warden, I was kinda torn, between them, and I'm glad I went with what I did, but I might have went with just the warden because if I knew I could get the queen later if I wanted.
So this is what I run on my main account pretty much all the time. And a lot of it is because I can like see the flaming sword. So when I look at the map, and there was a queen skin I don't think I have on my main. I think it's called the Lunar New Year queen skin, where if you're ever looking for your queen on the map, and you know sometimes if especially if she's wearing a particular skin, like you just can't find her on the
Yeah.
map. You can't see her. Well, players were saying that the Lunar New Year skin, if you put that on her, she's like glowing on the map almost.
Oh,
So that way you could see her. So I have the champion skins because it's a little easier to see that flaming arrow
hero
shooting
highlighter.
so
That's
that
what
I can know, exactly where she is.
is the paladin champion for skin for the RC, is that new?
That
That
is
is
new. I noticed
okay.
that.
What do you
Where
think
is
of
that? Is
that?
that in the shop?
Yeah, it's in the shop.
Yes.
I was debating about getting it.
That
I need
one's
a
is
really
pretty
good skin
cool,
for
man,
my here's what I wish. I wish that when I looked at this, I could see what it looked like in motion. I wish I could
in
see
action.
yeah, like what does it look like when the spear goes, right? If
Mhm.
it's a big fiery streak, hey, I'm down. You
Right.
got me.
We love
Kind of like
streaking
yeah,
on the
yeah,
Clash of Clans
right?
podcast.
Right. Definitely. It's a must. And so if you have like more I'd imagine it more like the troop. When you preview a troop upgrade or something like that and you have the little thing down in the corner and you could see what it looked like. I'd appreciate that just a little bit so I could decide. So I kind of want to wait to see. I'm but then you go throw $10 down and here comes the next month's one and then you're oh god.
And I just looked, I just realized the Paladin champion is also the monthly skin. Like I looked at the loading screen and you can see that the Paladin champion is on the champion in the loading screen. So that means this is part of the monthly package along with the orc, the barbarian orc king skin, the
Yeah.
Paladin champion skin, and then the what is it? How do you say it? Satyr?
Satyr?
Satyr? I think it's Satyr,
Yeah.
Archer Satyr
Yeah.
skin. So I think it's just part of it. It's not it which is just it's so different, like seeing a paladin skin versus an orc, like, they just seem very different.
Well, I'm debating. I I would love it if we had like a preview of the next like 4 months of themes,
That would be cool.
or just like coming in September, are we having a Halloween theme? Kind of like it's kind of like a trailer for what's coming up. You know what? I'm going to save up for this one and then I'm going to do that. And then, oh, the theme this year at Christmas is going to be, you know, Santa sleighs like with
Right?
machine guns.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool to see that. I wanna know what the hell they do with that one.
Right,
Kind of like like a season preview. Uh, yeah, 'cause I sit there and go, "Well, should I buy it? Well, next month's this, I probably won't." I probably buy more that 1st month, and then the 2nd month, I go, "Well, that one's cool. I'm gonna get that one."
right.
I'm just giving Supercell my inner psychology here. Uh, just so I knew it to Star Wars theme. It would be
Yeah,
great to partner with something like that.
I agree,
Batman,
100%.
Superman, for sure. Um, so we talked about a little bit about CWL. We're starting to switch gears. It goes really fast this month,
Mhm,
or the months, I should say. But coming into it, uh, it was a really tough CWL last time.
mhm.
Uh, Running up against all those uh 16s, and I guess so House of L is the clan, and we went up and we're in Masters, was it 2? 1?
Masters too. Mhm.
Masters 2, and it was up and down the board really overmatched.
Right.
16s and 15s, and we had a range of town halls down to 13, but mostly a pretty solid top where it was
Yeah, I think we had
given.
16 Town Hall 16s, if I remember right, and
Yes.
then we had, like, 8 Town Hall 15s, and then, like, 4 Town Hall 14s, and then, like, 2 or 3 Town Hall 13s. I don't know if those numbers worked out or not, but
Yeah, it was very, very much like it. I think there was like 2 13s
Mhm.
and 1 14, maybe there was a second, 14, but it was really kinda eye-opening to see that the leagues just
Get heavier and
don't.
heavier.
Yeah, well, just don't match up with the town hall levels, like,
Right, yeah, and
it's
that's
not a
because
factor, right?
no, not at all. Yeah, like, so CWL is solely based on if you won uh like whatever you brought last time and whatever you won with last time, whether that was all town hall 16s or all town hall 13s, like you're in the league that your clan is in. So if let's say next month we decided to fill House of L with town hall 12s and 13s and send them into battle, like they're still going to face
Yeah,
whatever most other clans are going, like there's no war weights in CW.
yeah. That was number 1, something I didn't. I mean, I think I knew that on some level, but I didn't
Hmm.
know that. Um, so that was kinda shocking. It was probably a huge part of the fun, though, I
Hmm.
have to say.
We saw
Ha
some amazing attacks.
Yeah, having our, like, 13s, Osix Pat, uh, Param, the Elite, and I know I'm forgetting other people because everybody was doing really well. Uh, but just because they were so overmatched for what they were pulling out, and Swim, I think.
Uh-huh. Swim
Yeah,
had some nice attacks. Yeah.
yeah. It I seen Tryhard Swim, he went to the other clan.
Mhm.
But that was awesome. Just to watch how we had to, like, pull together for strategy, that was, uh, fun.
Mhm.
Like, that was the most exciting part, and how it's gonna break down in the end. I don't even remember. We ended up, like, we didn't demote, we stayed,
Right.
right?
I think we were 5th or 6th, and I think bottom 2 drop in Masters 2, if I remember right.
Yeah, so we stayed out, so we held.
Mhm.
I was To be honest, I thought that, like, seeing the matchup, that surprised me, so I was, I didn't you don't know where you're gonna land, you don't know who the next team is gonna be, and,
Right.
uh but we held our own, and it was and Angry Wookiees had a similar war, didn't they? Where it was
Yeah.
really high overmatched?
We were in Crystal 2, and it was on and off. So I would say half of the matches we were really overmatched. We did 15v in Angry Wookiees, and I would say maybe half of them there were like 7 Town Hall 16s and, maybe 3 or 4 Town Hall 15s. But what Chewie did is he would go through the bases and say the higher ones and say, I can 2-star these Town Hall 16s. And like what my Town Hall 14, for example, was I think base number 3 on the
Oh,
map. So like there was no way that I could 3-star a Town Hall 16 with my Town Hall 14. And so I would go down and try to 3-star either maybe a bit rush Town Hall 15 or maybe a Town Hall 14. And then we would just try to 3-star where we could at the bottom and then 2-star everything up top. And it ended up working. Like it ended up working really well. But it was 100% based on the strategy of 2-starring the bases that we knew we couldn't 3-star and then
and then
attempting triples on bases that we might could have.
I love those kind of wars. I just
Yeah.
love that kind of stuff where it's like you got to play smart and not where you're just it's not just on strength, right? You have to play on strength and wit.
Well, it
Uh,
goes back to the old days strategy where Town Hall 10s would hit up to Town Hall 11s in order to get the 2 stars, and then the Town Hall 11s would hit down to 3-star the Town Hall 10s. Like I almost miss that where
and
it's nearly impossible to 3-star at the top level. And so therefore you have to be strategic if you're going to do well like that.
and we did that in L too with Param and Osix. I think
Mhm.
at first we kind of started off just trying to hit across maybe the first war, and you kind of get into this stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, okay, what is the strategy? And
You
I
did a
think
great
that,
job.
well, I mean, I mean, not really, to be honest. Like,
You did. You did a great
well, I
you
pushed the
were
button. I did.
right.
I'm
You're
a great cheerleader. I'm,
You look cute in a skirt.
yes, I, I was organizing and everything like that. Um, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty strategy of the day, it was everybody in the chat reading the room and saying, "Let's do it this way." I never said,
Right.
and then to be honest, people would come in and say, "Oh, are we doing Yep, go for it." Because I'd read
Yeah.
the chat. I'm like, "No, we collectively, people are reading the room and saying we should do it this way and do it this way." And once they did that and adapted, it was we were doing way better.
Mhm.
And that was something. It's part of it that is probably something else to explore, like, next, and even coming into, like, CWL. What do we do about daily strategy? Because you almost have to look at the war and who is gonna get who you're up against, and then kinda customize a strategy depending on, uh, not just like a normal TH or, normal war strategy, right?
Mhm.
It's gotta be more adaptable and then communicating that out to everybody.
Have you
Um,
decided if we're gonna do a 15V or 30V next month? Because I mean, CWL is in a week and a half.
yeah, and that's kind of why you brought it up to say, here's like I don't know. And this is where I think you come off of CWL, and that's a very intense week. You kind of have a week where you're kind of getting rolling, and you kind of kick back a little bit, and now it's like, let's roll into CWL. Um the only major issue that I saw in CWL was there was and I saw this over and over in scouting, that if you would click on the base above the one, it would sometimes take you in
Mhm.
to the base that was lower. So we had a
Right.
couple people hitting the one under them. I almost did this. Maximus did it, but he ended up like it was an
Hitting
unhit
yeah.
base.
Right,
And
right.
at first I was like, what the hell is going on here? And then as you see, like, oh, it's not just one person. Oh, it is not just two people. Oh, this keeps happening to me when I'm on the map,
Yep.
trying to scout. And so it's like, everybody, let's take a step back, and because even if you took a step back and went through it, oh shit, I got to check my army. That's when it
Mhm.
happened on those little times. So, and I kind of figured out it was like you go in to click it, and the 3 stars from the base below you would
Overlaps.
overlap because it
Yep.
was consistently. people were thinking they were hitting the base, and it was the base under them,
Yep.
2 under, uh, so that was a little crazy. And I think going into this, number 1, we gotta look at who we got, who wants to, be part of the team
Mhm.
and kinda
'Cause
ramp up to it, and really knowing that these wars are gonna be grueling. Number 1, we gotta know who's gonna show up and who we can count on during CWL to get there.
right. Right.
Um, and then looking at that, what's a good composition? And then we got people with minis, and it might be something better to safety wise, even to split into 2 with not all of our with minis, right? Like where we're even running a 15, even though we have 30 enough to do a 30, and we move some of the TH16s or something, a second account of somebody, let's say, into the other clan. So that way,
It
in the event that some shit happens and we don't miss 4 war attacks or 3,
right.
2 war attacks. So that way we could kind of distribute it out a little bit because that's a lot of pressure to put on, one person, or people get sick, something happens in the day, they forget, and then all of a sudden we're
We're
just
down
out of
2
the
attacks.
race.
Yep.
So maybe it is a better thing to say, hey, we got this really strong team. Let's just split into 2 for this week. And, most people would probably have a count in both places, but instead it just might be a better idea instead of to fill it out so much and then try to keep keep everybody keep 30 people, like, and you said this to me before, keep 30 people um organized and within a strategy. It might just be better to do 15 or switch people out. That was something I didn't do this entire time, and that would probably might be a smarter move going forward. Like, I didn't play that side of it either.
A lot to consider.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
exciting though.
It is. Yeah, I agree.
Um, I suppose we should probably wrap up here.
Yeah.
You
This has been
think?
a this has been a fun episode.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. I'm really excited about it. This CWL. I got a handle on it. I have the stuff from last time. And so basically it's saying what's going to change in the rosters. Here I got how it was organized. I made it through it like this. One thing I didn't consider, like I said, was swapping people in and out, and that people could be in the clan and theoretically be swapped out, and that not everybody has to, or move or
Mhm.
whatnot. So like over the next week, I really want to encourage everybody in L to get onto Discord if they're not, just so that way we could organize through that uh through Clash King, and then you can have the roster. And I'd like to have the roster up a little bit early this time so everybody can plan on where to be and just have a general plan. So
Well, you can also just make it a requirement. If you wanna be in House of L CWL, you have to be on Discord. Like, that way we can organize everybody and make sure that everybody's where they need to be. If you don't wanna be on Discord, that's fine. You're just not gonna be able to war in House of L. You're gonna have to go
yeah.
to another clan to do CWL maybe.
Well, and you know what? Here's the other thing too. One thing I didn't realize in during CWL, you can just at clan everybody, so you don't have the limit on the clan mail. Hello, I'm an
Mhm.
idiot. And the pinning, right?
Pinning.
So,
Yeah, pinning
so
is
part of
cheating.
it is would Discord fulfill any need, when I can pin now and put things into it, right? But what
Right,
is nice is not even to, let's say, even if we don't use it to communicate, and maybe we do, whatever works, right?
right.
But it's really great for the organization part, and like just be able to just, if you connect your player,
To the
your
Clash King bot.
yeah, then it's like, oh, I can
Yeah,
put the stuff in the roster and here we go, and it's like boom, boom,
right,
boom.
right.
And I haven't got to play too much with that, so Well, let's do some shout outs. I'm gonna pull up my little photos
So
here.
I have a big shout out this week. So I'm not sure if you heard. I think you did hear
I
because
did
Chewy, I
hear
think,
it, I
posted
think. I know
it
what
in
you're gonna say.
Discord. But BD Legend is now a super creator within Clash of Clans and has his own creator code. We, of course, have had BD Legend
Ooh.
on the Clash of Clans podcast. He was also on Clash Tips podcast. He's a good friend.
Well done,
Uh,
Mr. Legend.
and his code is BD. So if you want to use his code in game, give him a piece of the action. His creator code is BD, the letters BD. So super shout out to BD Legend for this amazing accomplishment. It's something
That's really cool.
he's
I saw
really
that.
wanted. Like we've had conversations and he has wanted to be a super creator and he's invested. So
Do you
this guy
he better get a
has
name tag that said BD Legend Super Creator.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be able to walk around with that. Or even print yourself out like a lanyard thing
Super
to walk
creator.
around. Go to the coffee shop and be like, "Super Creator." Everybody else gets to, why can't you? Is
Yeah,
what I
well, he
say.
got there through hard work. Like
Right.
he has he has hired editors. He's consulted with YouTube specialists. He's been I've kind of commented before. Like he's been on other YouTube creator podcasts. Like he has done the work and the research, and he's sent classes to me, like YouTube
Yeah.
classes. You have to pay for to learn how to do it better. Like he has done the work
Right.
and he's slowly seen his YouTube subscriber count just increase, and every video just gets better and better, and his thumbnails get better, and his titles get better, and he's just reached the point, which was his goal the whole time, which was to be a super creator in Clash of Clans. So definitely, congrats to
So
him.
print off that lanyard. That's what I say. And wear it
Yep. Yep.
proudly. Big shout out from me to Tyler. And it's spelled Tylar. So I'm saying Tyler a little bit more, but it's probably Tyler. I can hear the difference. For dropping off loot, I've taken a couple more pictures here as I'm pulling up. Uh, just a big shout out in general to the listeners, to Chewy, especially. I didn't get to talk about it very much with the CWL. And I know the one part of CWL was the plan that it would be less taxing
hmm
for Chewy in moving people back and forth, which didn't turn and you right, but uh, it was in Angry Wookiees, and so big shout out to stepping up again. I was hoping that that wasn't going to have to be the case for both of you. Uh,
It worked out. It worked out good. Yeah, huge shout out to Chewy though. I think he had 5 or 6 accounts in CWL, and he's always been great about being willing to hit with those and organize. So yeah, definitely a huge shout out to Chewy.
just must walk around sweaty all day during CWL. Uh, big shout out to uh, Hell. Uh, I don't talk about him enough on the pod, I don't think, but to see some really cool attacks and to see some really cool defenses.
hmm
I've noticed that dragons were doing, I kind of slipped some dragons into people's CCs
hmm
and they started like doing some work
Yep.
because of that spam stuff.
Right.
And then they'd have to come in with a different army. And really everybody, there'll be more shout outs. We're just going to have to do a full shout out episode one of these times. But all right. Get a hold of us at clashclanspodcast@gmail.com. You can call or text 320-216-2073. That's 320-216-2073. Blah, blah, blah. Follow Tip on Clash Tips, YouTube, and clashclanspodcast.com. You can find all this information if I hadn't said it already.
Keep
So until next time, keep it clashy, everybody.
it classy.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.